The greatest jobs president that God ever created. I tell you that. Hillary Clinton was the worst Secretary of State in the history of our country. The worst. The world blew up around her. Every single thing that she touched turned to garbage. The entire Middle East in her reign and the reign of Barack Obama went to hell. And you have Assad, and then you have the rebels. How many times have we been backing rebels to find out that they're always worse than the guy that's in there? Right? All the time.
They all say, fight Assad. Fight Assad. Assad's a bad guy. They're all bad guys. Not too many good guys over there, right? They're all bad guys. I mean, what did we get by knocking out Gaddafi, right? Nothing. What did we get by knocking out Saddam Hussein? And frankly, you know, in all fairness, there were no weapons of mass destruction. But what did we get out of it? Saddam Hussein killed terrorists. He would kill them immediately. He didn't do it politically correct. He found a terrorist, they were gone within 5 seconds, okay? With us, we find a terrorist, it's going to be 25 years in a trial. We're backing people. If they win, they'll end up being worse than Assad, and we'll have spent another $1 trillion on them. Nice and easy, folks.
In fact, a lot of people think that the rebels that we're backing is ISIS. And people are saying they're ISIS. ISIS, worse than Assad. Hey, Saddam Hussein was never as bad as these people. These people are brutal. They're chopping off everybody's heads, especially if you happen to be Christian. They chop off your head. They dunk people with a cage. Did you see that? They dunk them and drown them. These people make Saddam Hussein look like a choir boy. Okay? And I said this in 2004. In Reuters. Anybody from Reuters back there? I'm sure they are. There was an article in July of 2004. Trump said, don't invade Iraq. And a delegation comes to see me from the White House that they'd like to, you know, have me cool. I say, but you're making a mistake. You're going to destabilize the whole Middle East. Because you had Iran and Iraq that always fight, right? Years I read about wars. Iran goes 10 feet this way, then 10 feet. They were the same. They were like twins. Same strength. If you do that, you're going to destabilize because you're going to knock the hell out of one and the other one's going to come in and take it over. It's pretty simple. I mean, you don't have to be a total genius to figure this out, even though I am a genius, okay? So you're going to, right?
We made a tremendous mistake. We went into Iraq. Shouldn't have happened. Everything you see right now is an offshoot of that decision. That was a very bad decision. Then Obama got out the wrong way. I mean, here's a guy. He announces the date that we're leaving. So the enemy pulls back. What do we have to fight for? They're leaving. We leave 18 months later.
Putin wants to bomb. I say, go ahead. Go ahead. Bomb.
I don't know Putin, but he said nice things about me. He said Trump is a genius, and Trump is going to win, and Trump is leading the party. All right, said nice things. Look, you know, I always like a compliment. We all like compliments. Not going to influence me. Believe me, I'm going to do what's right. But he said these things. So the other people said, we want you to disavow what Putin said. First of all, I say this. Guy calls you a genius, you're not going to disavow. Do we agree? Only a stupid person would disavow, not a genius. No genius would disavow being called a genius. But more importantly, if you look at it, wouldn't it be nice if we actually got along with Russia and other countries? Wouldn't it be nice?
For 20 years, I've heard the worst thing that could happen would be if Russia and China start uniting. We've united them. Because we did things that were very onerous because Obama doesn't like Putin. And Putin doesn't respect or like Obama. And all of a sudden, Russia and China now are doing all sorts of things together.
I heard them saying this morning on television, how dare they want to? Donald Trump wants to work with Russia to get rid of ISIS. Yeah, sort of, right? You know, the cost of missiles at $1 million a pop. It would be nice to work with somebody else, let them drop some of their missiles. But they were talking about working with Russia like we have to do it ourselves. Why do we have to do everything ourselves?
You've also donated to several Democratic candidates, Hillary Clinton included, Nancy Pelosi. You explained away those donations, saying you did that to get business-related favors. And you said recently, quote, when you give, they do whatever the hell you want them to do.
You better believe it.
So what specifically did they do?
if I ask them, if I need them. You know, most of the people on this stage I've given to, just so you understand. A lot of money.
Not me.
Not me. But you're welcome to give me a check, Donald, if you'd like.
Many of them.
Actually, to be clear,
That's
he
right.
supported
Not-
Charlie Crist.
Not Mike.
Gave Charlie
But
Crist.
I have...
Donald, if you end your campaign, I hope you will give to me.
Good.
Okay.
Sounds good. Sounds good to me, Governor. I will tell you that our system is broken. I give to many people. Before 2 months ago, I was a businessman. I give to everybody. When they call, I give. And you know what? When I need something from them 2 years later, 3 years later, I call them. They are there for me.
So what'd
and
you
that's
get?
a broken system.
So what'd you get from Hillary Clinton and Nancy Pelosi?
Well, I'll tell you what. With Hillary Clinton, I said, be at my wedding, and she came to my wedding. You know why? She had no choice because I gave. I don't need anybody's money. It's nice. I don't need anybody's money. I'm using my own money. I'm not using the lobbyists. I'm not using donors. I don't care. I'm really rich. I'll show you that in a second. And by the way, I'm not even saying that in a bragging. That's the kind of mindset, that's the kind of thinking you need for this country. Sadly, the American dream is dead. We don't have victories anymore. We used to have victories, but we don't have them. When was the last time anybody saw us beating, let's say, China in a trade deal? They kill us. I beat China all the time. All the time. When did we beat Japan at anything? They send their cars over by the millions. And what do? When was the last time you saw a Chevrolet in Tokyo? It doesn't exist, folks. They beat us all the time. When do we beat Mexico at the border? They're laughing at us, at our stupidity. And now they're beating us economically. They are not our friend, believe me. But they're killing us economically. The U.S. has become a dumping ground for everybody else's problems. Thank you. It's true. And these are the best and the finest. When Mexico sends its people, they're not sending their best. They're not sending you. They're not sending you. They're sending people that have lots of problems, and they're bringing those problems with us. They're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists, and some, I assume, are good people. But I speak to border guards, and they tell us what we're getting. And it only makes common sense. It only makes common sense. They're sending us not the right people. It's coming from more than Mexico. It's coming from all over South and Latin America, and it's coming probably from the Middle East. But we don't know, because we have no protection, and we have no competence. We don't know what's happening. And it's got to stop, and it's got to stop fast. Islamic terrorism is eating up large portions of the Middle East. They become rich because they took the oil that when we left Iraq, I said we should have taken. So now ISIS has the oil. And what they don't have, Iran has. We spent $2 trillion in Iraq. $2 trillion. We lost thousands of lives, thousands in Iraq. We have wounded soldiers who I love. I love. They're great. All over the place. Thousands and thousands of wounded soldiers. And we have nothing. Our enemies are getting stronger and stronger by the day. And we as a country are getting weaker. Even our nuclear arsenal doesn't work. It came out recently. They have equipment that's 30 years old. They don't even know if it worked. And I thought it was horrible when it was broadcast on television, because boy, does that send signals to Putin and all of the other people that look at us and they say, that is a group of people and that is a nation that truly has no clue. They don't know what they're doing. Politicians are all talk, no action. Nothing's going to get done. They will not bring us, believe me, to the promised land. They will not. I've watched the politicians. I've dealt with them all my life. If you can't make a good deal with a politician, then there's something wrong with you. You're certainly not very good. And that's what we have representing us. They will never make America great again. They don't even have a chance. They're controlled fully. They're controlled fully by the lobbyists, by the donors, and by the special interests, fully. I'm in the real estate business, as many of you have heard. And all the time I get listings. A base is for sale, a naval base, a army base, a marine. They're always, I said, how many bases are there? All the time I'm getting these listings for bases. I said, what are we doing? We are hated throughout the world. Our country needs a truly great leader. And we need a truly great leader now. We need a leader that can bring back our jobs, can bring back our manufacturing, can bring back our military, can take care of our vets. Our vets have been abandoned. You know, all of my life I've heard that a truly successful person, a really, really successful person, and even modestly successful, cannot run for public office. Just can't happen. And yet that's the kind of mindset that you need to make this country great again. So, ladies and gentlemen, I am officially running for President of the United States, and we are going to make our country great again.